Former New Haven Police Chief Carl Jacobson back in court today for a pre-trial hearing. I'm Glenn Kittle. We'll tell you all about it coming up on Fox 61.
6 o'clock Tuesday morning. Good morning to you. Thanks so much for starting yours off with us here at Fox 61. I'm Erica Arias.
And I'm Brisha Piorlo. Definitely a cooler start to the day, but at least the warmth is on the way. And it sounds like it's going to be really nice this afternoon, Rachel.
I think today ends up being a beautiful day. Yeah, we have temperatures that are going to get up into the mid to upper 70s this afternoon after what is a cool start, though. So despite the numbers this morning, it will be nice this afternoon. Mostly sunny skies out there over in Hartford. We have temperatures that are around 45 degrees currently. We are cooler than this time yesterday out the door, depending on where you are. Anywhere from 4 to about 12 degrees colder now. So numbers 45 in Waterbury, 48 degrees in Chester. We're hanging on to the upper 30s in Willimantic. When I was driving in, my car thermometer also right around 39 degrees, 42 in Windsor Locks, and around 43 in Torrington. So there may be a few more scattered upper 30s across the state currently. So out the door now for the kids that are going to the bus stop, temperatures are quite chilly, but by this afternoon, and maybe sweatshirt weather this morning, but I think they'll be taking that off as temperatures will be in the mid to upper 70s in the afternoon under a partly cloudy sky. Eventually the clouds build in for the back half of our day, and there could be a stray shower later on this afternoon as well, although I think most of the day ends up being dry. It's dry Wednesday, it's dry Thursday, and we also begin a warm up. Temperatures on Wednesday will be in the low 80s. It's going to be quite nice for Wednesday, even for Thursday too, as numbers move into the mid to upper 80s. I think the back half of our work week ends up being quite warm. So we are not ending how we started our work week. Temperatures will get close to 90 degrees for Friday. That carries us into this upcoming weekend, though there is a rain chance on the way, of course, too. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a bit. Here at 6:02 on our roadways this morning, we are following minor delays from Bridgeport into Fairfield at around 11 minutes. Trumbull into Westport is around 19. Live look outside over in Milford. That looks all right. Farmington 84 east and westbound looks good, as well as in Route 8 in Bridgeport. We have some delays this morning as you're traveling to 95, so just heads up there. It's heavy this morning. And then over in Meriden on Route 15, that looks all right. Most of the road work here in the 6 o'clock hour has now wrapped up. Over to you.
Rachel, thanks so much. Well, an arrest has been made and a shelter in place has been lifted after police found a World War II mortar inside of a home yesterday. Donald Baltrons was arrested and 8 firearms were seized along with knives and ammunition. Officers found the mortar at a home on Lake Drive. Police were called to the home to talk to a man who lived there after a reported threat at a local Amazon facility. Officers have not identified the man yet, but they do say they removed everyone from the home after the device was found.
And happening today, former New Haven Police Chief Carl Jacobson is back in court today as the criminal case against him moves forward. Jacobson is charged with crimes in connection with embezzling tens of thousands of dollars from police department funds. Fox 61's Glenn Kittle is joining us live in New Haven this morning with a preview of the hearing. And Glenn, these are taxpayer dollars he's accused of stealing, and many people want to see accountability.
Yeah, good morning, Bridget. Many people have expressed their displeasure with the charges that Carl Jacobson currently has on him in this pretrial hearing. We're expected to hear more from the attorneys about the financials in this case as the case continues to move forward here. At the last hearing that we heard from Jacobson was back in April. He pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of larceny in the first degree by defrauding a public community stemming from the alleged embezzlement scheme involving police department funds. Prosecutors accused Jacobson of stealing more than $85,000 from 2 accounts connected to the New Haven Police Department. Investigators say more than $81,000 was taken from the department's narcotic enforcement program fund between January of 2024 and January 2025. Then another $4,000 was allegedly taken from the New Haven Police Activity League Fund. Authorities say the investigation began after money from both accounts was discovered in Jacobson's personal checking account. Court documents also allege Jacobson lost more than $200,000 through gambling over the course of a year while wagering more than $4.4 million. Now, as a condition of his release, Jacobson has been ordered to stay out of Connecticut casinos, avoid online gambling, and not have access to employer funds. Now, during the previous court appearance, investigators also said that they're going to have to check whether or not the amount that he's currently charged with taking is higher or lower. We're going to see more about the financials coming up later on in this trial, but we'll see what we hear in today's pretrial hearing. Live in New Haven, Glenn Kittle, Fox 61.
All right, Glenn, thanks so much. We'll wait and see what happens for sure. Meantime, 6:05, a judge heard arguments yesterday on if Raul Valle should be retried on lesser charges in the stabbing death of 17-year-old Jimmy McGrath. Now, a jury acquitted Valle of murder charge in that same case last summer. Fox 8's Alicia Hercules was at Milford Superior Court to hear from the defense and also new reaction from Jimmy McGrath's father.
The judge heard arguments from both the state and the defense on a possible retrial. During the defense's argument, the judge heavily questioned their motion to dismiss the case.
I'm hoping the hot bench what we call a hot bench, which was the questions that was peppered with me, is not an indication of where he's going.
Darnell Crossland, Raul Valle's defense attorney, faced many questions from the judge regarding his stance on a possible retrial. Crossland argued that the jury acquitted Valle last summer because they determined he was justified in stabbing 17-year-old Jimmy McGrath and 3 others. However, Judge Kevin Russo questioned Crossland on how he can make such an assumption. Judge Russo said there's no way to know what the jury was thinking before the verdict was made. State's attorney Mark Durso argued that the jury in the original trial never got to discuss the issue of self-defense. Durso said that if the jury did find that Valle's actions were justified, he would have been acquitted of all charges, including the lesser offenses. In addition to the murder charge, the jury acquitted Valle of first-degree manslaughter, as well as the intentional assault of 2 other people at a Shelton house party in 2022. But jurors remained deadlocked on lesser charges, including reckless manslaughter and reckless assault counts. Valle's defense during the trial relied heavily on self-defense. Valle claims he was attacked by more than 10 people, and that's why he took out his pocket knife. The state recharged Valle with first-degree reckless manslaughter and several assault charges and ordered a retrial. Outside of the courtroom, Crossland disagreed with the state's argument.
I just didn't hear that the case law allowed them a pathway forward.
Crossland says if the judge rules in favor of the state, he is prepared to take the case to trial. However, he is willing to discuss a plea deal if need be.
If they say something that's reasonable, that could make both parties feel some sense of closure, I'm open for that.
Outside of the courthouse, Kevin McGrath, James McGrath's father, said he just wants Valle to take accountability for what happened.
Well, why don't you take responsibility and say, I did this, I'm sorry, I'm going to take a deal, I'm going to go to jail and do my time and move on. That's what we want.
Judge Russo will have 90 days to decide whether this case goes back to trial. However, he said he will likely make a decision in less than that time frame. In Milford, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
And take a look at your screen. Shelton police are asking for your help this morning, identifying a person they believe is behind a series of car break-ins. Those happened in the Huntington neighborhood of the city early Saturday morning. Police have released these photos of a suspect in a gray Acura believed to be involved. Detectives say they believe 4 people were inside the vehicle at the time and warn the suspects might be armed and dangerous. Anyone who recognizes those people or sees the vehicle, they are urged not to approach them and call 911 right away. And at 6:08 this morning, the state is warning businesses to be mindful of a phishing scam that targets owners. Connecticut Secretary of the State's office says a spoofed email is making rounds. It claims to be from the Connecticut Business Registry and contains a malicious link designed to steal credentials or compromise devices. Businesses are urged to never click any links and to verify that official emails come from a ct.gov address.
Well, 6:08 right now. The debate is growing over whether a proposed Amazon distribution center should be built in Killingly. Now, if approved, it would sit on Westcott Road. Several people who live there say they're concerned about potential contamination to the drinking water. And there's also concerns about noise and other environmental impacts.
Just the fact that the aquifer is less than 1/8 of a mile from this site, this proposed site, I mean, that's thousands of people's wells. That's my drinking water.
An attorney representing the project developer, along with a weather and soil expert, told the town that they conducted a 5-month intensive review of the area after the plan drew concerns. And they say the review found that it's safe to build the facility and there would be no disturbance to the wetland.
So we're pleased to have that technical review concluded, but I would just note that we've now gone through 5 months, 4 hearing sessions, 3 rounds of review with your independent third-party reviewer.
Discussions on the proposed distribution center are expected to continue until a final review.
A former East Haven High School substitute teacher is facing charges this morning. Police say he had inappropriate conversations with a student about sex and drugs in the classroom. Rawad Al-Hawari is charged with risk of injury to a child and disorderly conduct. The investigation began after a student reported the alleged comments to the school resource officer in late March. Police say Al-Hawari denied making those remarks and was instructed not to return to school. He is scheduled to appear in court this coming Friday. At 6:10 now, work is underway to help 47 families in Groton find a new place to stay. That's because of a fire at the Ledges apartment homes complex early Sunday morning. You're looking at all the damage and how charred the exterior of that apartment is. Just hours after the fire started, the team at Groton Human Services put together a donation drive, and minutes later, aid was pouring in.
We've had an incredible response already. You know, we've only been open a few hours. It's barely lunchtime, but thankfully we've had a lot of folks come forward.
The town has partnered with the American Red Cross to collect essential items, retail and grocery gift cards, canned goods, household items, and toiletries. Meantime, a social worker spent Monday at the Ledges Clubhouse and is helping families find a new place to live.
6:11 coming up next. Florida taking legal action against OpenAI. What it accuses the company of doing that it says is harmful to children.
And a new study suggests remote work may be harder for younger job seekers. We'll tell you why next.
And as World Cup action is getting underway, bars and restaurants are prepping for bigger crowds and longer hours to accommodate all those fans and the games. We're going to have much more on this next.